elevated. Divisions are being removed in a natural way. Because Baba takes us from corporeal to subtle to incorporeal. When we are incorporeal, there is a limit. When Baba became awake, Baba said, now I will serve in unlimited way. Because there are 24 hours when soul is in the body. But as angel, you have unlimited time, beyond limit. And then we go to incorporeal as a soul. There is no limit. So Baba helps us to cross these boundaries, to make us unlimited. And also eternity in the time. All the time, forever. There is nothing like past, present, and future. It's just the time. So thoughts should be elevated. Attitude unlimited. And spread unlimited pure vibrations of benevolence for the whole world. Because each one of us, we are world benefactors. Stay in that awareness. And experience from Baba to create such vibrations and stay in that stage. Om Shanti.
जब सर्वशक्तिवान साथ है तो माया तो उसके आगे, जिसके साथ है उसके आगे पेपर टाइगर है। इसलिए घबराना नहीं, पता नहीं का संकल्प कभी नहीं करना। मास्टर नॉलेजफुल बन, हर कर्म करो, साथ का अनुभव सदा ही सहज और सेफ रखता है। साथ भूल जाती है तो मुश्किल हो जाए, लेकिन सभी का फायदा ये है कि साथ रहेंगे, साथ चलेंगे। यही वायदा है ना। साथ का अनुभव बढ़ाओ। जानते हो कि साथ है, मानते भी हो, लेकिन फर्क क्या पड़ता है? जानते भी हो, मानते भी हो, लेकिन समय पर उसी पर मान चलते नहीं हो। माया का फोर्स, ये जो कोर्स है ना, उसको बुला देती है। बहुत बलवान है, बलवान है कि आप बलवान हो। आपकी कमजोरी माया बनकर सामने आती है। तुम ना कमजोर बनना है, न माया आनी है। लक्ष्य है माया जीत, जगत जीत। कितने बार विजयी बने हो? अनगिनत बार। अच्छा,
Om Shanti. Now do service with your elevated state of the mind and your subtle attitude, unlimited and benevolent attitude. A world benefactor always has an unlimited attitude and vision and an unlimited stage. In your attitude, there must not be the slightest trace of anything negative or any wasteful feelings. Change the negative of others into positive. Your attitude towards others must always be unlimited and benevolent. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vikti Parivar. Today's day 5. Now do service with your elevated state of the mind and your subtle attitude. Today's topic: unlimited and benevolent attitude. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone. Everyone is okay. I like what Baba said, that when Baba is with you, that made me think, in what way? It's like creating the presence of Baba as Almighty. And that is remembrance or simriti. So I find that the biggest way to what Maya makes us do is to forget Baba. That means the mind or intellect is busy or occupied in something. Let's say there is a situation, right? So mind really gets busy, very occupied in situation. So when mind is occupied in situation, then the weakness emerges. And the weakness is, oh, what will happen? Will I be able to do or not? Like weak thoughts start coming. Weaknesses are in the form, let's say you have sanskar of being fearful, or you have sanskar of having doubts, or you have sanskars of too much thinking. So if we have all those sanskars, then what happens? All these kinds of thoughts come in the mind. And when thoughts come in the mind, it's the Maya, right? What is Maya? Weak thoughts, right? So when Maya comes, Maya makes us forget, or Maya separates us from our companion Baba. So I think it's really a good point to underline that if I have company of Almighty Baba, then I am conqueror of Maya. That means my weaknesses will not emerge and I will remain strong. A very good point to practice. So tomorrow, with awake signal, we will also take this point to make sure that Almighty Baba is my companion. It's not only question of circumstances, situations, but even Almighty means all powers, right? So if my nature is to use the powers, then also Almighty will be with me. I think the biggest power which recently Baba mentioned was tolerance. Is tolerance not with situations, but sometimes we are not tolerant with each other. That means allowing everyone to be different and do whatever everyone is doing. Just be tolerant if it's necessary. But if you love everyone, you might not need tolerance. Or always be ready that whatever happens, I have to face the situation, not run away, not be scared. And I think that as much we use the powers, Almighty, right, then you feel you are Master Almighty. And you know, especially these times, you will really feel Almighty Baba is with me. I feel for that. It's important as we are listening these days to Awake Babdada's Murlis or Sakhar Murlis very attentively. We had been hearing people, they like to listen a lot, right? So they hear different topics with social media. There is so much to keep listening. But then that influences the soul. Murli is our source and Baba is my companion. These two Mahamantras are very important. Then you will not be influenced by any soul. Soul says, human beings, souls in a subtle form. If you listen, you are attracted. So be very attentive, very careful. That's why, like yesterday, Baba said, attention and practice. And also, you need to think of Almighty to go beyond your limits. You need the companion, Almighty Baba, to help you to go beyond limit for everything. But also when we want to do unlimited service, right? Unlimited services, service through the mind for the whole world. Because Baba is saying you are world benefactor. World is big, right? So how can I be world benefactor without being Master Almighty? So I was connecting that when I am Almighty, Master Almighty, and Almighty as my companion, not only we will go beyond boundaries and limits, but also bring benefit to everyone. Prakashmani Dadi came here. It was 19, very early, when we didn't have centers. So a new person, contact soul, was driving her and Ramesh Bhai. He was Ramesh Bhai's friend. And on the way, Dadi was talking to him about traffic control. Daddy said, whenever there is traffic or traffic light, don't get impatient. Don't just say, oh, there is so much traffic. But what you have to do at this time is start doing traffic control. Think about traffic of the mind and either start saying Om Shanti or have elevated thoughts, remembrance of Baba. So that soul must be kept doing it, but met me after so many years. And first thing he shared was what Dadi had told him. So when we have to say something to someone with love, with patience, and something which could help them in their practical life immediately, he said, applying this traffic control has helped me so much, not only not to have wasteful thoughts, but my state of mind feels very elevated. After, I think, maybe about 20 years or so, we still remember that. So we listen to knowledge, and from there we take very small practices. Like early morning, wake up and say Om Shanti, good morning to God. Even children remember, they say, oh, I say good morning to Baba in the morning. Like you will say good morning to your father or your elders at home. So how it's so important to remove our limits. Someone said, oh, I needed at least 7 hours of sleep. But I took Baba's knowledge. I start sleeping in time, remembering Baba. And I woke up in the morning naturally at 4 o'clock. So he start having trust that I can do it. Before he thought impossible. So that's thinking of one's own limit, that I cannot wake up. It's my limit. So how we could think of souls? They do certain things up to certain time, and then they say, I cannot do anymore, limit. I have to bring benefit. We don't think of the world. We think of limited relationships, limited context. Because limit could be in capacity, right? But keep the world in mind. I have to bring benefit to the whole world. It could be very interesting because when your vibrations will be powerful, they will spread, right? You must have heard that when Pandavas and Kauravas, they were fighting with the bow and arrows. So as much tapasya one has done, that was their arrow will go not only very far, but destroy what is negative or the arrow of enemy. So today Baba is saying not only you think about bringing benefit to all, but you have to change one who is negative into positive. At least in your presence, or creating powerful atmosphere, others will not be able to do anything negative or say anything negative. That means to think anything negative. So when Baba says, you don't think negative, but change negative of others and make it positive. That is something where the power is required. I think one of the important practices, look at every soul in an elevated way. Everyone, whatever they are. Everyone has some specialty, right? So that I don't have negative thoughts for anyone. Because that very subtle negative thoughts will create distance and also lack of trust. But if I always think positive, there will be more and more trust. Trust will grow. So when Baba is saying elevated, unlimited, and benevolent, when anything is taught with love, soul takes maximum benefit. Many sisters, when I came to New York, came to stay with me. And most of them now are senior sisters. So wherever they go, they cook, they do certain things. So others say, from where you learned this? How can you make everything? Oh, I used to stay with Sister Mohini, so I learned from there. Until now, when I go everywhere, oh, this one made uh, like good paneer sabzi, samosas, things like which generally people like. So how they learn now? if I only keep teaching but not cooking, it's only when I'm cooking they look at me. And then they learn from there and then they make it in that way. So life is to do. Like a lot of people think how to use the money of yajna. And I always think how to do charity from this money. Print something, give something, let everyone get a drop of whatever we have. Always I think of what to give, what to give, how to give, how to use it in unlimited and worthwhile way. Right? So tomorrow's interesting homework is make Almighty your companion and become conqueror of Maya. Don't allow any weakness of your sanskars to emerge, but instantly emerge one of the power to face it, use it in whatever way it is necessary. So whatever you are touched, whichever word you are touched with, you churn on that and you will find it very, very useful. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Mohini Didi. Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti.
How are you doing, Didi?
Good, good. And you?
Very good. Very good. I liked your message today. It was many things, but the interesting thing was about these small practices that you can use small practices to increase your remembrance, like when Baba says, get up in the morning and say good morning to me. In Toyota, the company Toyota, they started something called the Kaizen log, where what they do is they keep track of 1%, like they can improve something and it will improve 1%. 1% of their productivity will improve, or the product will improve 1%. And so it is little things. And I was thinking, we need to gather all of these little practices that Baba tells us so that we can improve our remembrance. It was a very nice point that you shared there. From today's Murli, what do you think would be our 1% increase in yoga? Do you find any practices in today's Murli?
Remembrance always is few moments. It can never be half an hour, 1 hour. You can remain absorbed in love and the experience of remembrance. But those few moments are like if you have any thoughts coming, which we know not necessary, instantly remind yourself, why don't I use these thoughts? Let me remember Baba. So it might be 3 minutes, 10 minutes, depends. If you keep doing that, a habit of not allowing wasteful thoughts to be in your mind, waste of time, and also seeing that remembrance is the solution of everything. Because even if I create the vibrations of love and peace, but Baba's presence definitely has more powerful vibrations than any one of us.
Right.
So thinking of Baba is also creating atmosphere, bringing that love for the soul, and also there is solution there. Really, I particularly pay attention. Sometimes it's more, sometimes less. But whenever, mostly I do it and I find a lot of things get resolved. A lot of things I don't have to say because Baba's remembrance creates such powerful vibrations. So there is a kind of motivation also happens when you are successful, where things get done, you don't have to do anything.
Mm.
So,
Right, right.
so
It's
it's only
truly
two,
a
three
nice way.
minutes, 2, 3 minutes, keep increasing, 2, 3 minutes. So many times will keep increasing your chart of remembrance.
Right. I like what you're saying that just watch your thoughts and see instead of having this thought, I can just remember Baba in this minute. That's a really nice, another little, little practice. I'm going to keep track of all of these little practices now, small, small practices that really going to help. Even if we can increase few minutes an hour, that's so much. The other thing I was thinking about what you were saying is about Almighty Baba, that when especially the virtue, the power of tolerance that you were talking about, I wanted to know how Brahma Baba used tolerance.
I think acceptance of everyone, that they are different. Everyone will be different. Why I need to want to make everyone like me? And remember that, all of us, we identify ourselves or people identify us with some qualities, right? And now
Right.
you want all those qualities, you want to see someone else using those qualities, be like that, and do things like that. And you could be very happy because, yes, but you could be very disappointed and frustrated because other will also will have one's own way, right? And
Right.
that way is not wrong, it's only different. So
Right.
more we allow that freedom, tolerance in the sense of allow that person to be and to do what that person is. Or, like people more talk about when there is intolerance in religions, right?
Right. Right.
So that way I was using word tolerance. Everyone's getting up, walking, seeing, listening, everything is different, right?
Right.
So
And
we should
everyone
just,
has a different way of leading their Brahmin life.
yeah. So
Right.
we should be enjoying that and saying, oh, this one and this way, instead of kind of forcing others to be
Mm.
your way.
Right. Right.
And that's where I use word tolerance more.
Yes.
Because if we do not accept these differences, we become intolerant. Right?
Right.
And
Right.
intolerant means then either you are upset or you are frustrated or, so I like just enjoy everyone, everyone is good, everyone is okay, unless something very wrong is happening. Otherwise, there should be tolerance.
That's very beautiful, Mohini Didi. Today, two very important things that I'll remember forever is this whole idea of tolerance and this small practices, that to really use small practices. One of the things that you were talking yesterday was about attention and practice. So if we were to let's say take today's blessing was so beautiful about, Baba is saying, you were mine before, you are mine now, you will always be mine. So if I was to practice that blessing, how would I use attention and practice?
Attention more here is that, like getting mind into any wasteful thoughts. Let's say you see something, it shouldn't be like that, it shouldn't be like, because when the sanskar emerges, right, or my nature, habit emerges, if I do not have attention, it will erupt, it will keep coming again and again. So that means I'm allowing my nature in such a way that it keep emerging because of lack of attention. right? If I had attention, it won't happen.
Right.
And the practice, it depends on what do I need? Do I need patience? Do I need trust? Which quality do I need? So
Right.
kind of internally keep thinking about that quality. So if there is lack of attention, then you again do same thing, right? If it is attention, you won't repeat it, right? It won't happen, oh, I don't want it, what to do? It keeps happening. It's lack of attention. One time Baba said attention is like a watchman. No? So for security, you keep watchmen so thieves doesn't come. So these are like thieves, no? Our old sanskars, our old habits, they just appear. So attention will stop all that.
Right. Right. Um, this interesting. I'm thinking of what you're saying. One of the things you were saying is about doing unlimited service for the world. And I remember I'm connecting with today's slogan. I remember after being with Dadis, I used to feel so like my thoughts used to be so elevated for so long, so many days, months afterwards. Like, after meeting them, like their thoughts were so powerful that I used to feel so elevated for maybe a month or so afterwards. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, because I know that Dadi Prakashmani, Dadi Gulzar, Dadi Janki, they always thought big. And like Brahma Baba, you heard this story before too, that when Dadi Prakashmani was in Japan, and then she was in Bombay, Ahmedabad. So first time they had to print these big pictures of cycle and Tribhuti, and so they said, Baba, should we print 1,000? Baba says, your baby intellect, right? At least print 25,000. So they don't think of like today few. They always think like it's for the whole world. Whole world means, unlimited, because 1,000 and 25,000. And also Baba used to say, tell them that we will keep printing, in the sense of, so first you are thinking everyone should get it. More and more people should get it. Then you think big, right?
Right.
So when you will think of world, naturally you will be unlimited, right? And
Right.
also keep giving, whether drishti of love, whether message of love, whether words of love, keep giving. And what is important is that what you giving, others will pass on. They will give to others. This way it will reach whole world. We hear so many stories. Person from Syria or person from different countries, they hear something, they go in their countries, they want to share with everyone. I mean, we have centers all over the world. How are they created? Anyway, our brother Ken went to Brazil. He didn't know language. Brother Charlie is from Australia, but he went there. So all these different souls, they got the message and they went in different countries and they start sharing. So world is being served in a way.
Right. Right.
So same we have to, wherever we are, or if we have an opportunity to go somewhere and give message, yeah, we should give. Right? And that's what Baba meant. Give message to everyone.
Right. Right. That's very, very nice. Um, the thing that this last question, where you were saying that about with elevate, if you give something with love, then people will remember it. And so I was wondering if you could share a story from either the dadis or Baba about this, this aspect of love, that how they gave with love.
Love has something which is very much looks like caring for the feelings of person, caring for the liking of that person. So with Brahma Baba, I don't know, as soon as he knew that soul should be given this, or so expression of love can be in many different ways. Way you speak to person, or way you take care of that person. Even the gifts you will buy, you will think about what could be useful for that person. It's like you think about giving that care, whether in a subtle way or physical way. So love is could be through drishti, through vibrations also people come to know. So it could be in subtle way. An expression of love is also in a physical way.
Mm. Thank you, Didi. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Now do service with your elevated state of the mind and your subtle attitude, unlimited and benevolent attitude. A world benefactor always has an unlimited attitude and vision and an unlimited stage. In your attitude, there must not be the slightest trace of anything negative or any wasteful feeling. Change the negative of others into positive. Your attitude towards others must always be unlimited and benevolent. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So now let's do our Vyakti journey. And before that, we have tomorrow, Saturday morning, Amritwala, 3:30 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. Meditation will start at 6 a.m. followed by Hindi Avit Murli by Mohini Didi. Translation will be available in English, Nepali, Tamil, Telugu, Spanish. And then we have Avyakti children class from 1:30 to 3 p.m. Avyakti youth class from 3 to 4 p.m. Evening meditation starts at 6 p.m. followed by Hindi series, meditation commentary, English series, and Avyakti journey will be having chit chat with Brother Eric. So now let's start Avyakti journey. Welcome to Avyakti journey. Avik Murlis from 1969, inspiring us to change from Brahmin to angel.
Abhyaktwani, 2nd of July 1970. Experimenting with the power of silence. Today, Bap and Dada were having a heart-to-heart conversation with each other. Today, from the subtle region, Bap Dada saw a scene in the early hours of the morning. Bap Dada was seeing to what extent each child is tied in bondage, to what extent the bondage of each one is broken, and to what extent it is not broken. Some have a bondage tied with very thick rope, whereas the bondage of others is less. Some even have a bondage of weak thread. Bap Dada saw a scene of which once had a bondage tied by weak thread, and which ones had a bondage tied by thick rope. Some have a bondage tied by a thin rope, but nevertheless, it would still be said to be a bondage. There is one or another type of weak or strong thread. Even a bondage of weak thread would still be called a bondage. It is just that they will not take long to break the bondage. Whereas those who have a bondage tied by thick rope will take a longer time and also need to make greater effort. So Babdada was seeing this scene from the subtle region. All of you know yourselves anyway as to whether you have a bondage of thick rope or thin rope, whether it is a weak thread or a strong one, whether you're in bondage or whether you're free. The meaning of freedom is clear. Nevertheless, Babdada is happy because you still perform wonders. However, Babdada now wishes to see you go even beyond that. The more you have Babdada's name on your lips, to that extent, there will be your name on everyone's lips. Madhaban is the land of transformation. So what do you have to transform before you go? You understand this, do you not? Acha. The degree of the confluence age and the reward of the future. 11th of July, 1970. Today, Babdada is seeing what degree each student has attained from studying. What degree do you receive from this study? Are you yet to receive a degree or have you already received it? After you study, you receive a degree. So what will you receive at this confluence age? The degree of the confluence age is the perfect angel, the Avyakt angel, and the reward in the future is the deity status. So the degree of the present time is the perfect Avyakt angel. Babdada is seeing what the main qualifications for this degree are and to what extent each student is qualified for it. The more qualified someone is, the more qualified he will make others too. Those who are qualified will create quality, whereas those who are not qualified will create quantity. So today, Babdada is seeing the qualities of each of you. One has to see in which qualities each one is qualified. So here, in the main qualities, Baba is firstly checking to what extent you have become knowledgeful. Together with your being knowledgeful, Baba is also checking to what extent you are faithful, successful, powerful, and serviceable. If you have all these qualities, you will receive the degree. So each of you has to check which qualities you have imbibed. To be knowledgeful means to have the full knowledge imbibed in the intellect. The more knowledgeful you are, the more successful you will be. If you're not so successful, it will be understood that knowledge is lacking. What is the reason for not being successful? You're not that faithful. To be faithful means to have faith in the intellect. Firstly, you have to have faith in the self. Secondly, faith in Bapdada. And thirdly, faith in all the souls of the entire family. When you're faithful and carry out any task, having faith in the intellect, then due to having faith in the intellect, there is victory. That is, because you're faithful, you automatically become successful. Every task, every thought, and every word of such a soul will be powerful. Those who are qualified in this way can claim this degree. Do you know what happens if you do not attain the degree? What does a court issue, a decree, judgment? You will either receive a degree or a decree will be issued. A decree will be issued for you to go to the land of Dharamraj. To be continued. Om Shanti.
Now do service with your elevated state of the mind and your subtle attitude, unlimited and benevolent attitude. A world benefactor always has an unlimited attitude and vision and an unlimited stage. In your attitude, there must not be the slightest trace of anything negative or any wasteful feelings. Change the negative of others into positive. Your attitude towards others must always be unlimited and benevolent.
अब अपने श्रेष्ठ मनसा द्वारा सूक्ष्म वृत्तियों से सेवा करो। बेहद और कल्याणकारी वृत्ति विश्व कल्याणकारी की स्टेज है। सदा बेहद की वृत्ति, दृष्टि और बेहद की स्थिति वृत्ति में जरा भी किसी आत्मा के प्रति नेगेटिव या व्यर्थ भावना नहीं हो। दूसरे के नेगेटिव को भी पॉजिटिव में चेंज कर दो। आपकी वृत्ति सर्व के प्रति सदा बेहद और कल्याणकारी हो। ओम शांति।
Om Shanti. Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti.